always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it.
We have our pretest. Multiple choice. Write the letter of the correct answer on a sheet of paper. Number 1. What property is being illustrated in A plus B equals B plus A? Letter A. Commutative property of addition. Letter B. Commutative property of multiplication. Letter C. Identity property. Letter D. Closure property. Number 2. What property is being illustrated in the quantity of A times B, closed quantity times C, equals A times the quantity of B times C, closed quantity? Letter A. Associative property of addition. Letter B. Associative property of multiplication. Letter C. Identity property. Letter D. Closure property. Number 3. What is the identity element in addition? Letter A, 3. Letter B, 2. Letter C, 1. Letter D, 0. Number 4. What is the identity element in multiplication? Letter A, 3. Letter B, 2. Letter C, 1. Letter D, 0. Number 5. What property is being illustrated in A times the quantity of B plus C, closed quantity, equals AB plus BC? Letter A, closure. Letter B, commutative. Letter C, distributive. Letter D, additive inverse. We are now ready to answer your pretest. We are in problem number 1. What is the answer to problem number 1? The answer is letter A, that is commutative property of addition. How about for problem number 2? What is the answer? The answer is letter B, associative property of multiplication. For number 3, it is the identity element in addition. What is the answer? The answer is letter D, 0. For problem number 4, the identity element in multiplication, what is the answer? The answer is letter C, that is 1. For the last number, what is our answer? The answer is letter C, distributive property. We have closure property. Closure of addition. The sum of two integers is also an integer. If we add 3 plus 4, the result is 7. And 7 is an integer. We have closure of multiplication. The product of two integers is also an integer. If we multiply 3 times 4, 3 times 4 is 12. And 12 is an integer. We have commutative property. Commutative property of addition, which states that changing the order of the addends does not alter the result. Tingnan natin mabuti. Pag binaliktad natin ang 3 plus 4, the answer is 7. 4 plus 3, the answer is 7. So kahit na pagbaliktarin ang pwesto ng mga numero at tayo ay nag-a-add, hindi pa rin nagbabago ang resulta nito. We have commutative property of multiplication. Changing the order of the factors does not change the results. So if we multiply 3 times 4, the result is 12. If we multiply 4 times 3, the result is also 12. Kahit baliktarin natin ang posisyon ng mga numero pag tayo ay nag-multiply, hindi pa rin nagbabago ang resulta nito. We have associative property. So in associative property, we have two. Associative property of addition and associative property of multiplication. Associative property of addition means changing the order of the groupings of the addends does not change the result. Sa una, ang pinagrupo natin ay 4 at 5. Sa pangalawa, ang pinagroup natin ay 3 at 4. Kahit napalitan natin ang grupo ay hindi pa rin nagbabago ang sagot. So 4 plus 5 is 9, 3 plus 9 is 12, 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 5 is 12, 12 equals 12. We have associative property of multiplication. Changing the order of the grouping of the factors does not change the result. So in the first grouping, we group 4 and 5. 4 times 5 is 20, and 3 times 20 is 60. In the second grouping, we group 3 and 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 5 is 60. 60 equals 60. We have identity property. What is the identity element of addition? The identity element for addition is 0. What is the identity element in multiplication? The identity element in multiplication is 1. So what is identity property of addition? A number plus 0 is the number itself. 3 plus 0 equals 3. What is identity property of multiplication? 1 times a number equals the number itself. 1 times 20 equals 20. We have inverse property. Inverse property is divided into two: additive inverse property and multiplicative inverse property. So if we add a number by its opposite, what is opposite? If we have 3, the opposite of 3 is negative 3. If we have 7, the opposite of 7 is negative 7. So if we add a number by its opposite, the result is 0. We have multiplicative inverse property. Multiplying a number by its reciprocal, the result is 1. If we have 3, what is the reciprocal of 3? 1/3. If we multiply 3 by 1/3, the answer is 1. So we have 3 over 2. What is the reciprocal of 3 over 2? The reciprocal of 3 over 2 is 2 over 3. If we multiply 3 over 2 and 2 over 3, the answer is 1. So we have 0 property. The product of a number and 0 is 0. 10 times 0 is 0. 28 times 0 is 0. We have distributive property. Adding first before multiplying or distributing the factors to its addend will give the same result. So, if we multiply 2 by the quantity of 4 plus 5, what is the quantity of 4 plus 5? The answer is 9. So 2 times 9 is 18. Or if we distribute 2 times 4 plus 2 times 5, 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 5 is 10. 8 plus 10 equals 18. And that is distributive property. We are now ready to answer the post test. Write the letter of the correct answer on a sheet of paper. Number 1. What property is being illustrated in 9 times 5 equals 5 times 9? Letter A. Commutative property of addition. Letter B. Commutative property of multiplication. Letter C. Identity property. Letter D. Closure property. Number 2. What property is being illustrated in the quantity of 2 plus 3, closed quantity, plus 4 equals 2 plus the quantity of 3 plus 4, closed quantity? Letter A. Associative property of addition. Letter B. Associative property of multiplication. Letter C. Identity property. Letter D. Closure property. Number 3. What property is being illustrated in 7 plus 0 equals 7? Letter A. Identity property of addition. Letter B, inverse. Letter C, closure. Letter D, distributive property. Number 4, what property is being illustrated in 10 times 1 equals 10? Letter A, distributive property. Letter B, inverse. Letter C, closure. Letter D, identity property of multiplication. The last number, number 5, what property is being illustrated in A plus negative 8 equals 0? Letter A, closure. Letter B, commutative. Letter C, distributive. And letter D, additive inverse. We are now ready to answer the post test. For number 1, the answer is letter B. Number 2, what is the answer? The answer is letter A. Number 3, what is the answer? The answer is letter A. Number 4, we have letter D. And for the last number, number 5, the answer is letter D.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up that.
Rational numbers. Rational numbers are any number which can be represented as quotient of two integers. Examples: 1/3, 3/7, -1/2. We need to express the given rational number from fractional form to decimal form. We are in the first number, 9/10. Our denominator is 10. Our decimal point is after 9. So we need only to move the decimal point one place to the left. So the answer will be 0 and 9/10. We are in the next number, 11/100. Our denominator is 100 and we have two zeros. Our decimal point is after 11. We need to move the decimal point two places to the left. So what is the answer? The answer is 0 and 11 hundredths. We are in number 3, 19/100. Again, we have two zeros in our denominator, moving the decimal point two places to the left. So what is the answer? The answer is 0 and 19 hundredths. We have 99/100. What is our result? The result is 0 and 99 hundredths. We are going to express the given rational number as decimal. We have our given. Our given is 1/2. We need to express 1/2 as decimal. First, we divide 1 by 2. 1 divided by 2 cannot be. So we annex 0. It will become 1.0. So we have 10 divided by 2. What is 10 divided by 2? Actually, that is 0 and 5/10. So 5 times 2 is 10. Then 10 minus 10 is 0. So we have the value of 1/2. So what is 1/2? 1/2 is equivalent to 0 and 5/10. Express the given rational number from fractional form to decimal form. We have our given. Our given is 3/4. We need to divide 3 divided by 4. 3 divided by 4 is actually 0. So, 30 we need to annex 0. 30 divided by 4 is actually 0 and 7 tenths. 7 times 4 is 28. Then, we have 30 minus 28 is actually 2. We will annex 0. And 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. And 20 minus 20 is 0. So what is the value of 3/4 and decimal form? 3/4 equals 0 and 75 hundredths. So we need to express the given rational number from fractional form to decimal form. Number 1, 1 over 10. Number 2, 7 over 10. Number 3, 13 over 100. Number 4, 3 over 8. Express the given rational number from fractional form to decimal form. Our first given is 1 over 10. 1 over 10 in decimal form is 0 and 1/10. 7 over 10 in decimal form. 7 over 10 in decimal form is 0 and 7/10. 13 over 100 in decimal form. 13 over 100 in decimal form is 13 hundredths. 3 over 8 in decimal form. 3 over 8 in decimal form is 0 and 375 thousandths. We need to express the given rational number from decimal form to fractional form. We are in the first number, 0 and 3/10. So the first thing that we need to do is to multiply the given by 10 over 10. So, upon multiplying the given by 10 over 10, we move the decimal point to the right. 0 and 3/10 will become 3. So the final answer is 3 over 10. We have 0 and 29 hundredths. Since this is a hundredths, we need to multiply the given by 100 over 100. Then, in 0 and 29 hundredths, we move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So therefore, the final answer is 29 over 100. We have 0 and 4/10. Since that is a tens digit, we need to multiply the given by 10 over 10. 0 and 4/10. We move the decimal point 1 place to the right. So what is our final answer? Our final answer, it will be 4 over 10. But you will notice that we can still reduce the given to lowest term because 4 and 10 has a GCF of 2. So we will divide 4 divided by 2, and that is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the final answer will be 2 over 5. Express the given rational number from decimal form to fractional form. Number 1, 0 and 9/10. Number 2, 0 and 37 hundredths. Number 3, 0 and 75 hundredths. Express the following decimals as fraction. We have 0 and 9/10. Since the given is a tens digit, we need to multiply it by 10 over 10. So the final answer will be 9 over 10. We are in the next number, 0 and 37 hundredths. Since the given is a hundredths, we need to multiply it by 100 over 100. So the final answer will be 37 over 100. We have 0 and 75 hundredths. We need to multiply it by 100 over 100. It will become 75 over 100. And that is still divisible by 25. So 75 divided by 25 is 3. And 100 divided by 25 is 4. So the final answer is 3 over 4. Thank you for watching.